know why it went live already. I was trying to redo the thumbnail. Hello, everybody. Sorry who everybody was there already. And God, just watch me hold up a thing all the time here. I was trying to get a good picture with the baits because I don't have the baits yet. They're at Mike's place, but anybody that probably has seen the photo or not knows what they look like. So, hello, welcome, everybody. Look at the catfish just hanging out. So happy to be a catfish. Those are pretty baits. They're awesome, to be honest. Pretty cool. Super thank you to Mike for making those baits. We will give them away here by the end of the chat for sure. Plus we'll give away two to go with it, or as the people in the States call them, wool hats, and a decal. I'll send so the toque and the decal will come from me, and the baits will come from Mike. Ryan Marlowe, Fall Pike 2020. You know it. No pike. I'm on a little walleye mission here next week coming up. Tomorrow morning, head for walleye for 1 week solid. Hello to everybody. Back indoors, yes. We are. Oh, the Yeti Live movie premieres today. Whoops, sorry. Did not know that. Hi, Mary. Hi, Joey. Good to see you guys. Tommy, how do we get the gear? The gear you can order it from my website, www.claytonshickoutdoors.com. The lures right now are just a little giveaway. That's all we have right now for them. I haven't talked with Mike about doing anything with them in the future, but we very well might. Hello, everybody. It's good to see everybody piling in here. This is awesome. It's awesome. Cheers to everybody. So we're close, Clayton, if you ever need +1 on the boat. I usually fish a lot alone a lot, Jason, just for the fact that it's easier for the filming side of it. So Mike, hello to you. Hi, everybody. Sorry if I'm missing your names in here. It's going through pretty quick. Corey, hi. Chris Harder, CSO tubes can only mean we must be in for an early ice fishing. Ice fishing season is upon us. No doubt about it. It's coming. 2 years. It's coming. It is coming. I'm thinking anyway. Primetime angling. That's funny. Primetime. That's my saying. Primetime. I've got shirts, hoodies. Primetime. Primetime. I love primetime. It's awesome. Can you give us some fall walleye tips? Tommy, fish where the walleyes are, of course. Transitions from like deep to shallow, like really heavy structure, big deep drop offs. Usually they'll be down and the deeper stuff most of the day, and then you can catch them usually like the end of the day up top feeding. Usually is probably your best bet. Other than that, it's more about covering a lot of water. And then the colder it gets, the more leeches become completely irrelevant. You'll switch to kind of a dead minnow bite. Frozen minnows for us anyway in Saskatchewan, because we can't use live bait, live minnows. What's your ice fishing BECU going for? I'm not sure what. I don't understand BECU. What's your open ice fishing bet? Maybe. I don't get the question, Mike. I have to re-bring it in there. It is cooling down a lot. When's the next Clayton Carter competition vid? I know we need to have another one of those some point. I feel bad for Carter. So it was like we went. Anybody seen that video? I don't know if I did that live chat before or after. I think I released that video after my last live chat. But Carter and I went out and was like, okay, let's go for the biggest pike. And I smoked a 45 incher or 44 and 3/4 incher. Like in the first 10 minutes, it was like, okay, so that competition's probably over. I'll see you at Lake Prairies Ice this year. Yes, you will. Any plans for Tobin this year? Yes, I'm going to try to hit Tobin probably mid-October-ish, sometime in there, I think. Come to the Fargo Ice Show. I would, but it's like probably not going to happen this year with the whole border closing, and also it's right during primetime ice fishing season. Hook me up with those chartreuse tube jigs. Hey, chartreuse ain't no use. You should do a video fishing for some weird species when you have time. Catfish are crooked, rock bass, carp. I know, I totally should. I've done carp videos in the past, but it's been a long, long time. Joey fed us all the other day with a crappy shore lunch. That's awesome. Good for him. He's going to be a killer out there. He's going to be a guide. He's going to be killing it. take you out on some no Nodak Walters. Using a ripping wrap for the first time. Love it. Thanks for the tips. You betcha, dude. You betcha. I'll try to catch up on some questions here at some point here. I am from Canada, Rick. You betcha. Saskatchewan, Canada. I just recently found your channel. Love it. Your pike videos are outstanding. Thank you very much, Josh. I appreciate you watching the videos and stopping by for a live chat as well. Does Otter give us a Clayton discount if we tell them you sent us? I don't know for sure, Jason. I don't know much about a discount, but I definitely approve and appreciate like you when you buy something from Otter, if you say that you're doing it because of me or you saw me using the stuff, because it just helps me in the future for sure. Big time. I just got somebody just bought something on the website. Whoever, if you're on there right now that just bought something on the website there, I don't know what you bought. I haven't looked yet, but thank you very much. I appreciate that. Is the burbot in the future? We're going to be doing some burbot for sure at some point. Definitely. Clayton, have you ever fished for trout on Gull Lake in the Duck Mountains? I haven't. I haven't fished gull maybe for probably since I was like mid-teens, early teens probably. My parents used to take me camping at Wellman Lake all the time. So I remember fishing gull at some point. I just haven't fished it since I've discovered fishing myself, basically. Dustin, Duck Mountains, you know it, buddy. That's his home area. Nobody crushes the ducks like Dustin does. I guarantee that much. Thoughts on slip bobber jigging? Very effective for sure. And definitely depends on the certain times of the year. Usually slip bobbers are more effective early in the year when they're a little bit shallower. It's a little bit harder to fish them a little bit when they're, in that 20, 25 feet of water. It's really hard to get the proper adjustment for your slip bobber, but it still can be effective. I saw something here, thoughts on the Strike Master auger. I've been using it for, I saw it skim by here. It's a great auger. Been very approving of it. Like, I've never gone on a trip where I've been disappointed or was like, man, I wish I had my gas auger. I've got to a point where I just take one auger with me every any trip. I used to take two augers with me because I was scared of one failing on me. But right now, the last couple of trips I've done for ice fishing, I've only taken one auger. I keep saying otter because that's the next question I want to ask. What changed on the new Otter hubs, Pete? Right now, all I know for sure is the colors that changed to a nice little darker grayish, and I don't honestly know what else has changed for them for sure. I'll have to dig into that a little bit more. So if you have an older one, it's not like you have to get one of the newer ones, but it's always a good reason to sell your older one and buy one of the new ones, right? That's what I'll be doing, is getting rid of the older ones and getting some of the newer ones for sure. Bass or walleye? Walleye. Definitely walleye. Any hunting videos? Yes, I'm going to try to do some hunting videos this year. I actually drew a mule deer tag and an antelope tag, so I'm going to try to do something for sure. What time of the year is best for topwater pike? Carl, I used to think it had to be like always like midsummer for topwater pike, and it was like you always had to do it when it was like glass calm too. I quickly found out that it was like easy to do it all the time. When I'm fishing with guests in the boat, a lot of times I'll have like one topwater running all the time. Any recommendations for rigs for fishing in heavy current like the SSR and NSR? Heavier weights, Chris. The heavier the current, the heavier the weight you have to do. So it's like that's the biggest thing. Get a weight that you can pin something to the bottom. And the even more would be something better is the heavier the current, shorter the snell. So like in a slider rig, if you have light current, you can use a longer snell. But if you have a heavy current, it's probably going to be more muddy too. You can get away with a shorter snell, and then it's going to stop the bait from twisting as big of a circles if it does start to twist. It's really hard to stop bait from turning in a current. So the shorter the snell, the shorter the little twists are going to be. The longer the snell, the bigger your twists are going to end up being, right? So my PB walleye is 32.5 inches, 13.56 pounds, caught during ice fishing season, and I really need to break that. Maybe this year. Maybe I'll hit the 14-pounder in this next week. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. Hopefully it's during the tournament and not pre-fishing, but excuse me, it is what it is. When's the frostbite up again? The website up again? The word is October 15th. I don't know if I can say that out loud, but the goal is to be selling stuff by October 15th. So soon. As I always say, soon. Would you rather mono or braid or fluoro for walleye? That's going to depend a lot on the lure you're using. I'm trying to think what I'm trying to say here. The lure you're going to use. Like, I rarely use mono. I mostly use either braid or fluoro. Now, that being said, sometimes I'll run straight fluoro. Sometimes I'll run a fluoro to a braid to a fluoro. So I was just trying to get a message clicked there that can go through. Fluoro all the time. Never run straight braid to anything. I know some guys might, but I prefer not to for sure. Fluoro all the time, like hands down. Jamie, the hats are big. The hats that I have, the flex fit hats, they're small, medium, and then they're large, extra large. The bigger ones fit a pretty big head. Obviously, I'm not wearing it right now, but I have a pretty big fat head too, and they fit quite nice. Will you make the cut for the next 39 hours? What's 39 hours? No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. No idea. I apologize anyway as I'm missing the message. I've kind of rambled on a few things here. What Humminbird model do you use for ice fishing? I use the Helix 7, but I'm going to be running the Helix 10 this year. They have a new shuttle kit, and I'm going to put a Helix 10 on there with hopefully a Dakota lithium battery. Stormy, if you're listening to this, hook me up. I need another battery for that. Yes. Matthew Hawes, hello from Yorkton, addicted to sharpshooting now. Awesome. Cheers to you, buddy. Appreciate the little donation. Cheers to you. Corey, I saw your comment go earlier too. I just haven't got to it yet. Thank you very much for the good luck in Rowan's. Fingers crossed it goes good. McKenna says, where's Tigger? Tigger's the big cat. I think Cindy's, no. I thought maybe you're bringing Tigger down.
I can.
That's not.
Is this the one?
No, those are old hats. The flex fit hats I have now. Big fan from Winnipeg. Yeah, Carter has a flex fit hat in his room somewhere, I think. Aaron Weber. Got to get yourself a Panoptics this year. I've seen the Panoptics. They're definitely a good unit for sure. I have my fingers crossed that Humminbird's going to come up with something here in the near future, which I'm pretty sure they will. Good old jig in a minute. Yes. Hey, Clayton, are your custom baits going to be available for purchase? Dason, at some point, yes. I'm going to talk to Mike, and we're going to try to get some in the works for sale for sure. I didn't even know he was going to do it. All of a sudden, there's like, he sent me a picture. I'm like, dude, let's do a live chat and give those away, right? Like maybe he was making them for me. I'm not sure, but I'm like, let's give them away. I'm like, I want to give them away to people. So it's pretty cool. Sorry, you're not going to be at Rowan's either. There, Corey, we'll miss you. I think this is a small medium though.
It is.
So this is a small medium, which Carter wears, and it fits me too. So there's a one size bigger yet, which is a large, extra large. This is like tight. I'd wear the large, extra large, but yeah, those are hats that are in the store. Flex fit hats. They're actually quite nice. I like these, and I really like my toques too. These things have been popular. Like they're going fast. I'll be doing another shipment for some more in. Was going to get the Helix. Get the Helix 7. Helix 7's a great unit. No doubt about it. You're welcome, Jeremy. Element Custom Baits, right there. There's a guy that's doing the giveaway. They were for the giveaway, but Clayton will get his own personal ones to feed some big chunky walleyes. I like that. So there's Mike in the chat right there. Element Custom Baits. That's the guy that made the baits that are doing we're doing the giveaway for by the end of the chat. Cindy's writing names down from the chat, and we'll pick one out by the end of the night. And they have to be in the chat to win. So, have you tried Jay's Catch and Cook? I have. Jay and I were on a trip recently together. Spoiler alert: there's a Clay vs. Jay coming out at some point. I don't know when it's coming out, but it's coming out soonish, I think. We'll see. But we got together, and I did try his Catch and Cook. He cooked me up some walleyes, and it was very good. I was very, very impressed with it. Going to catch your PB on the custom lure. That would be epic if I could catch the PB on the custom lure. That'd be so cool. CSO hats are lucky. I agree, Joey. The CSO hats are lucky, especially the toques in the ice fishing season. How do you get your batteries at 100% on your sonar for ice fishing? It's a little bit deceiving, Doug. It always shows 100% on the unit because I have a lithium battery. So it's the unit itself doesn't recognize what's going on with there. So it always thinks it's at 100, even though it's at 80%, it's at 100. All of a sudden you get you'll go from 100% to 30%. And that's when it's dropped down a little bit. So That's why my depth finders always show 100%. Like it'll be all day like that. I'll have 100% reading on it. Those Dakota lithiums, I can get like 2 days out of it on a Helix 7. It's quite handy. Quite handy. What lure should I use for early ice? Sorry for the spam, Tanner. It's not spam. I apologize. I didn't see your question earlier. I have some early ice fishing videos from last year. If you haven't seen them yet, I definitely recommend going to watch them. The Tantrum from Frostbite and the Dinner Bell was like two of my best lures last year. Dinner Bell, the Tantrum was epic for first ice, like really good. Good stuff. You're a positive force in this world. I appreciate it, Kevin. Try to definitely stay positive for sure. With all the negativity that's stretched around us lately in the world, we got to stay positive. What's your favorite spinning reel? Hands down, the Stratic, the Shimano Stratic. Like hands down. It's your best bang for your buck, I think. Like for $200, it'll get you a reel that's going to last a long time. And also, it has a great drag system. With any reel, your drag system is like your most important. I always laugh when I see people, and I did this when I was really young too. I didn't know any better. You go into like a store and you pick up a reel and you spin it and you go, oh yeah, it's got some good ball bearings in it. Still spinning. Well, of course it is. It's brand new. It's going to spin like that forever. It doesn't matter how long your reel spins for. It's your drag system that counts, your drag system. And obviously, the only way you can really test that out is by some other people's use of it. They can tell you about it. You can see it. You can't really put line on it and see it. But your drag should be smooth when it comes out. Not some reels that are like, if that's what your drag is doing, that's bad. That's bad. Hot tip. So what size Stratic? My favorite Stratic size is the 1000, just because that's probably what I use the most. But I use the 2500 a little bit, and then the odd time I use 4000s as well for pike fishing. Are you going to use the new Shimano reel, the Stratic? See, I haven't used the C14. I've only ever used the one, the Stratic that's not the C14. I guess what's it called now? The HJ or the FJ, I think it is. Those are what I've always used in the past. So, are we doing shots tonight? We're always doing shots. You never know. I'm having a little sip here, but we're always doing shots for sure. Can't wait for the Clay vs. Jay tiebreaker. I'll spoil this much. It's good. Like, I don't know the outcome, but it's going to be close because I know what we were like at halfway through. It's the top 5 biggest walleye at Cranberry Lodge. I was at Caribou, sorry, Cranberry Lake. I was at Caribou Lodge. Jay was at Viking. It's going to be good. Like, I've got my video edited, ready to go. So we're just waiting on Jay and a few other things. So yeah, it's going to be good. Really good. Are you using a chirp on the Helix? Yes, I'm using the chirp on the Helix when I'm ice fishing, you betcha. What's the best budget ice rod? Tanner, this is going to sound so weird because it's a company I'm affiliated with right now. I work for Frostbite a little bit and help them out with some stuff. But honestly, it's the Frostbite rods in terms of the best, like for your most custom feel, but still at decent prices. Like you can get expensive rods and they're going to be amazing. The tuned up rods I use for years, they're unreal. A lot more pricey. Last year I was using the True Grit 38M 38 medium, easily the best walleye rod I've ever used, especially bang for your buck. It was very good. Very, very good. Clayton, do a shot for your woman. She just sold 3 hats, one for me. Oh, Jamie, I'll do it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Jamie, I will try to get things in the mail. I'll pack it up and have Cindy send it tomorrow, possibly. I'm leaving for a week, so I'll try to get it out sooner rather than later. D. Hoffman, Jason, my guess is Clayton wins. I hope so. Favorite, I just missed the question I wanted to answer. Favorite bait casting reel. I really like the Tranks 300s, and that's only because I use them for pike. The bass ones that I've used a little bit right now, the SLX I've really liked, but I don't have a lot of experience with like smaller bait casting reels. I use most of the bigger ones. The only smaller ones I have is the SLX. The old Corrado 200s and that were really good too. I can't wait till October when Frostbite opens their website. Heck yeah. There's Ryan. He says confirm the True Grit 38M is the best ice rod he's ever had. It's been very impressive. Hi, Will. Good to see you. What do you pack in your lunch bag for full days on the ice? I'm a big, on actually when I'm on the ice, I'll take like my little burner and like some hot soup. A hot meal halfway during the day is like so important. It just keeps you going for sure. There's Tigger. That's funny. And then like if I'm on the open water, the boat, I'll use the salami. Have a salami and cheese and crackers here. This is Tigger. This cat is unreal. He cuddles up to me like all the time. He just loves me. I think it's the beard he loves. Oh, he's scared of you guys though. He doesn't want anything to do with you guys. Yeah. How late in the fall should I go to Tobin? Tobin's going to be really good all the way from now till like literally the end of the season, like when the ice starts to form. That is a huge cat. He is a big cat. I call him Fluffy. Right, Tigger? And he always has his claws out. No, he's all fluffy. He does not happy right now. He's in a grumpy mood. Okay. You're supposed to write names down. Taking a break?
I have lots of names written down.
That's good. For anybody that's come in lately here, it's 20 minutes in. Cindy's writing names down for people that are just being a part of the chat, asking questions, whatever. Even saying hi. She's writing some name downs. And at the end of the night there, we're doing the giveaway for those lures, the 3 rattle baits, and the toque and a decal. So we have 200 people in here right now. So we'll see what's here when the hour's up. Hey, Clayton, could you give my son Connor a quick 6th birthday shout out? It's his birthday. He's a huge fan watching from Minnesota. Well, Connor, happy 6th birthday to you. I hope your dad takes you fishing. That's all I got to say. Go fishing. The PB cat was funny. He is a PB cat. You're right. I actually call he's a Boone and Crockett. Favorite Topwater for big pike, the Whopper Plopper. Like hands down the Whopper Plopper. It's so good. There, look at Connor's getting some other happy birthday messages there too. That's awesome. I appreciate you guys wishing Connor a happy birthday. That stuff like that's so cool. Do you ever listen to tunes on the water? I don't listen to a lot of music on the water, Pete, and it's just because I always have the camera rolling. And when you have the camera rolling and have music in there, it's no good, right? YouTube doesn't like that. So my phone is very boring in terms of music and a playlist, like very, very boring. But I would listen to music. I hear a lot of people say rap is the best way to catch walleyes. Look at that. Look at all the birthday messages. That's so deadly. Agree, the Whopper Plopper. It's so good. And I like the Whopper Plopper too, is like as a slow, consistent reel. That's probably the best way to do it. Love it. What tips? Oh, he's quite okay. I'm trying to keep up to things, and everything's given. Live in Manitoba. I've never fished Lake the Prairie. Planning to do a trip around Christmas. What tackle should do well there? You know what's really good at Lake the Prairies, or especially at Christmas time, are rattle baits. I have a small little Savage Gear Fat 5 that I use, and I did really well last year on the Frostbite Tantrum. And then the dinner bell. I have a friend, Ryan Ginter, who slayed last year on the dinner bell spoon. Jigging spoons, rattle baits, Lake of the Prairies ice fishing. I'm going to do a bunch of underwater stuff there on the underwater camera this year. That's a huge plan. Roadside minnows. Happy birthday, Connor. That's awesome. You should do an Ontario trip for fishing. I do want to get to Ontario at some point. And Joey says just above that, any musky videos coming. I know, Joey, I haven't made it out there yet. I promise if I do get out there, I will be looking you up for sure. We'll be touching base and getting together again. I don't have anything planned right now for muskies. I want to. Just we'll see. We'll see what happens after Last Mountain. Right now, my focus is on the tournament for next weekend. So that's where I'm focused right now. Fly rod setup details. It really is going to depend on what you're fishing for and what you're trying to accomplish. That's such a broad question. But match your size of your fly to the weight of the fly rod that you're going to be using for sure. Like I use a 12 weight a lot of times when I throw big, heavy pike flies, but I'll also throw a 9 weight fly rod for pike when I'm using like smaller little streamers or bunny leeches, flies like that. Hey Clayton, love your videos. What aqua view do you use most and how far do you keep it away from the trout? Ben, I use pretty much strictly right now. I've been using the 7i Pro, the HD one. And it's really going to depend on your water clarity, how far away you can keep it. I always tell people the farthest you can get it away, the farther you can get it away, the better. If your water's super clear, put it 10 feet away. If it's not, you got to put it closer, right? General thought is like if it's not that clear and you got to get it closer, the fish probably can't see it as well either, right? But when it's super clear, you probably can see it. So your water clarity is really going to depend on how far you want to get it away from you. Hayward doesn't have huge walleyes. Yeah, there's some big walleyes down there. Tom catches a few of them, but just not like we catch for sure. I don't do any spearing in the winter. No. Do you ever utilize AquaView in the open water season? I haven't yet, but I know I really should at some point. It's so tough because of the fact that like I'm always guiding. So this is like my first summer in like 18 years where I've got to play around on a boat all summer. And I think I've done like 50 trips this year with the Lumacraft so far. It's been piles of fun. So I haven't done anything with the AquaView in the open water yet, but at some point I will. The underwater camera, I point it like this, a 45-degree angle for most part. If it's clear, you can really do that. I rarely do the straight down, and then the straight at it, I don't do that much either. So, Brandon, thank you for the $2 donation. I have never fished the Great Lakes. No, I haven't, or have I? Maybe one time, Georgian Bay, muskie fishing with Aaron. That's it. One trip. You ever fish Lake Diefenbaker? I do it at times. I haven't this year yet. I'd like to get there eventually. How many rods do you have? My wife says I have too many, only have 21. No, you're good. 21. Stephen, you tell your wife that you can have as many rods as she has pairs of underwear. That's what I say. I'm trying to keep up with everybody. It's so hard, so I apologize if I missed your question. Don't hesitate to ask it again. It's not spamming if you're asking a question. I just haven't seen it. Have you given away the lures yet? Tanner, not yet. We'll be giving away at the end of the night to somebody in the chat. Jay Siemens, when is the next Jay versus Clay? You tell me, Jay. You tell me. When can I pre-order my Schick Stick Frostbite? There won't be any Schick Stick this year, but there is some pretty cool rods coming out from Frostbite this year. So get your wallets ready. Clay versus Jay versus Tom Boley. Well, that's not fair to Tom. We don't fish him so bad. No, just kidding. Just kidding. It's hard enough to beat Jay. I got to beat two people? Oh, boy. Jay versus Clay is so much fun. Got an AquaView 715 last year. Can't wait to use it this year. Hope it works. It should work really good. I've heard really positive things about it. It's really going to depend on your water clarity for sure. And if sometimes you have bad water clarity, you could go back a week later and it could be better. It seems to always change throughout the year. When are the Frostbite rods going to be released? I believe October 15th is what we're going for. So soon. Soon. 39 hours with Jay. I'd fish with Jay. Yeah, Jay. Jay versus Clay, big pike. Let's do it. You scared? Most pike total inches? I agree. I would agree. Any tips on ice fishing Tobin Lake beginning of March? I haven't fished Tobin Lake beginning of March a lot. I know that the fishery can get really tough in the wintertime because the walleye will push deep a lot of times. So you just have to be really patient for your bites for sure. Like if you're going to Tobin, sometimes you're going there to target big fish, right? So it could mean one or two bites in a day, or sometimes none. It could mean literally a bite in 4 days, right? If you're looking for that one fish, that one 26-inch plus walleye, something like that, right? Like, and obviously, if you're looking for pike, I know that a lot of the flats is a super popular area. I think my biggest thing when it comes to any type of ice fishing like that, even at Tobin, is just get away from people. Don't compete for the same fish. You see everybody go to the shanty town. You can go where all the shacks are set up, but go 200, 300 yards away from it. There's no use competing for the same fish. 39 hours ice fishing in the works. You never know. There, Corey says he's from Tobin Lake. He says, prepare to be on the move in March. So he's saying move around a lot. Are you planning on bringing out any new merch soon? Yes, we're going to probably do some merch releases for the ice fishing season. Cindy's on me, like get some t-shirts out, get some whatever out. So yes, we're going to do some ice fishing releases for sure. You should post more trout this winter. I love that. I know. I need to do more lake trout on the AquaView this year. That's a definite goal for sure. again, if I've missed somebody throughout here, please ask the questions again. I apologize. Ever thought about making a bloopers reel? We have a video for days. I say so much silly things on the water. I got my money saved up for new merch. I appreciate it, Dason. Dason literally owns all of my merch. Super appreciate it. My biggest perch is 13.5 inches. Would you rather trout or salmon? Trout fishing. I've only done salmon once, and I actually found it quite boring. But also, I knew though that once we were done salmon fishing, we were going to fish for giant sturgeon. So it was kind of maybe if I was going on just a strictly salmon trip, it would be good. It would be good. This is funny. My brother is in here, Colin Schick, who is a computer technician. He takes care of my computer stuff. He's a computer genius. And he says, have you ever used fruit by the foot as bait? So fruit by the foot is like the candy that you can buy. Colin and I were like little, and we were up at Wellman Lake. And obviously we're kids, right? So we get bored quickly. I still always wanted to always fish, but I pull out a fruit by the foot and I put it on my lure. And I remember my dad getting so mad. He's like, you're not going to catch anything with that. What are you doing? And honestly, like 20 seconds later, I caught a pike. It was a little tiny pike, but I was so happy because it was like, I caught fish on fruit by the foot. Well, I think everybody was using fruit by the foot at that time. I don't encourage stuff like that. I'm pretty sure the candy's probably pretty hard on their digestive systems. That sense, probably so is plastics in terms of baits. So yeah, it's kind of funny. Fruit by the foot. Clayton, what's your favorite ice fishing trip? First ice walleyes and lake trout, definitely. Matt Fletcher, I'll do a shot with you for that for sure. We're gonna have I found I have some left here, some apple pie moonshine. Please, if you're gonna have a drink, be of age. That's all I ask. Just be of legal age, drinking age in your selective area. Cheers, Matt. Thank you for the donation. Shot to you. And do you plan on fishing KWO next year? I don't, just for the reason that I'll probably be guiding, to be honest. Hopefully COVID passes and I can go up for another year of guiding. You ever do carp on a fly? I haven't, but I want to. I found so many carps, like so many carpies at Lake of the Prairies that would be really good on the fly rod. And I just haven't. Mike, I'm going to make you a, where'd that go? Element Custom Baits. I was going to make him a moderator in here since they're his baits I'm giving away. Too many people. Sorry. Here we go. There we go. Element Baits. Mike, I put you as a moderator just because when you're putting your Instagram there, I think it was taking it away. So I apologize for that. How did you get into guiding? I got into guiding when I was 19 years old. I was just like, I'm going to go do it. And I went up north, and I remember going up there as this, I'd like to say confident, but it probably wasn't confident. It was probably a cocky little 19, 20-year-old who thought he knew everything about fishing. And I went up to a pike camp at actually Scott Lake Lodge at the Outpost Camp Wigness. And I got schooled pretty quick that I really knew nothing about fishing. I knew a little bit about walleye fishing, and I mean a little bit. I thought I knew lots. I knew a little bit. And a guy there took me under his wing. Dave Holben took me under his wing a little bit and taught me what I need to know about guiding and pike fishing, and then I kind of all took off from there. I did miss a donation. I usually do shots just for the bigger ones, but here, I'll get to you right away, Matthew. I wasn't planning on doing the guiding thing. I really wasn't, but I just did it one summer, and I ended up falling in love with it, and that's kind of why I still do it. So, have you ever owned an ice castle? Are you a portable mount only? I have an ice castle. I have had ice castle for a few years for sure. But now I've been pretty much all portable just because I like to fish different areas for the most part. I like the portable shelters and that. I would use an ice castle though for more, even just for staying on the shorelines and whatnot of wherever I'm going to be fishing. Okay, Matthew, cheers to you. Cheers. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Such a good drink. Is uncut still so soft? When you fishing with Aaron again? Aaron's so soft. No, Aaron and I will probably do something at some point. We haven't done it. We actually haven't fished together since the wheel video. I'm pretty sure we haven't fished together since the wheel video. At some point we will, though. Hopefully we go like real fishing. He doesn't have some kind of crazy idea again. Hopefully we can actually go like fishing. Best winter jacket for ice fishing. Kimberly, I've really liked the Striker ice suits. I use the climate suit and the hard water suit. I know Carter uses the Predator suit for the jackets. The nice thing about that is they also float. So if you do ever get in any kind of trouble, but they're pretty warm. Now, you still have to wear a proper base layer underneath in terms of cutting all the wind. Wear a good base layer underneath it as well. But I've been a big fan of the Striker suits. I've been wearing them for, I don't even know now, 6-7 years. And I always hated bulky jackets while fishing. They didn't feel bulky at all. So, and that's another question for there. I do use the float suits. I use the Striker ice suits. King Cobra, I love the frostbite rods. Been very happy with them. I'm looking forward to putting them through the test again this winter. Last winter, I piled some big walleyes on them, some big Lakers on them, and they held up. Super impressed. Does line color matter? Maybe in super clear water, but your line colors, for the most part, what they mostly help you with is for watching the line. Like the yellow line, the high vis line is good in situations where you have to like watch your line in the water and see if it moves. Whereas your lines that match the color or the color of the water more, your blues and your greens, you're not meant to really watch those as much. So they hide a little bit more. For the most part, you should be running a good enough or a long enough fluorocarbon leader anyway. So that line color shouldn't really matter anyway. But the line colors are for mostly in terms of visibility, being able to see them to whatever your style you're fishing for, basically. Are we going to see any hunting videos this fall? I'm hoping so. I have a mule deer tag, an antelope tag, and some good whiteys as well, whitetails. You should get some CSO Carhartt hoodies made up. I could do that. It might be a little bit more pricey, but I definitely want to do a CSO hoodie this year. Last year, I just had the primetime hoodies. This year, I want to do something with the CSO, though, for sure. What about carp fishing video? Maybe something this fall yet. Maybe something this fall. Any tips for Lakers on Athapascal this winter? Be patient in spots, but also be really willing to move lots. Like if you're not seeing them, just move. And downsize if you're not catching them either. Like you're going to want some of your tube jigs, bigger baits for closer to the bottom, but be willing to move though and downsize. Probably my two biggest tips for sure. Don't get caught in always having to sit in one spot for 4 days on top of your chum. Just move around if you can. If it's too cold out and it's miserable, then just be patient. Some of those trips you don't realize it's like, yeah, I put some big Lakers on the ice, but you know, it's like it's to make a 30 or 40 minute video could take 4 days, right? Like in that sense. Generally, my videos are what happens through that day. So if something doesn't happen, maybe you just don't see a video from that day at all. So Chris, Reed Lake, Manitoba for Lakers tips. If you're ice fishing season, same thing. Move lots, downsize, fish some like really good structure that's like from deep to shallow. I had success there last year, if I remember correctly, from like 30 to like 60 feet. It was like a really quick transition. Any chance of a summer Laker video? Yes, Cole. Sadly, I have 3 videos filmed. I haven't just edited yet, and there's some big Lakers, and I just haven't got to it yet. So I'm trying to get to it, but I do have a big Laker video filmed. I just haven't put it out yet. So it's like it has happened. It's very good. I'm going to be doing some fall Lakers for sure though, because it's casting, which is some of my favorite stuff. So there's a tips for fall fishing Lakers. Cast shallow, like when they're up in their spawn, like you wouldn't believe how shallow they are. Clay, what time of year do you find it hardest to catch fish? Heat of the summer and then like coldest of the winter. Usually those are my 2 toughest times, I'd say. Do you like ice season or open water more? I like open water during open water season, but I love ice fishing during ice fishing season. That's such a hard thing to pick. If I had to pick one, it'd probably be open water. If it was like the only thing you could do, it'd probably be open water. But that being said, I love my first ice. Like when you're fishing on skinny ice and watching the fish, it's so cool. Chris Archer, hey Clayton, what would you recommend for an electric auger and a gas auger? Have to get one this fall since the trophy strike burned out in a second season. That's too bad. Chris, I've been using the Strike Master 40 volt for 3 seasons now. I think 3 seasons. I think it's been really good. I just carry 2-3 batteries with me, but it's been very good. I have heard amazing things though about the Ion 2. Now the first Ion, it was junk. I hated it. It wasn't very good. It was awesome first ice. Like it was unreal first ice. But I've heard amazing things about the Ion, the G2, like amazing things. So that being said, I'm going to probably give it a chance at some point this winter and see what it does. So yes, the Ion X, Jason says, I never use the Ion X. I only use the original Ion, but there's another, yes, the Ion 2. So I've heard amazing things about the Ion 2. Word on the street is Clayton's releasing the chartreuse colored hoodies. That'd be good. Bright chartreuse hoodie. Main chartreuse ain't no use. Hey Chris, Nikki says hi to her favorite CSO cast members, Cindy and Carter. Clayton is okay. Hi Nikki. I appreciate it for sure. It's mean, but it's okay. I'm glad you made it, Chris. I hope everything's going well with you guys. You ever fish lead core? No, I haven't used lead core, so I couldn't even comment on that. Can we get an etc. hoodie? Right? I know, etc. We need an etc. I'm thinking for the next hoodie shirts, how about any luck? T-shirts that say any luck? Is that not the most asked question when somebody comes to you when you're fishing? Any luck? Rough shirts that just say any luck? That's coming out. That's my next thing. What species are on your bucket list? GTs. Giant trevally. Golden Dorado too would be good, but yes, giant trevally. What brand online spinner do you use for pike? I use Blue Foxes, and I also use a lot of Joe Bookers, the Booker tails. I love a good Booker tail. Taro Murata collab. I know, I agree with your face on it would be golden. Jig and a minnow. Love you, Clayton. Love you too. Love everybody. Hey, Clayton, love the videos. Headed down to Deef next weekend. Good luck. Wish I could help you out with some tips, but I have no intel on Deef right now at all. Made it. Darren's Northern Life. Hello, hello. What's your favorite bait for open water perch? Little jig heads, maybe? I haven't done a lot of, open water perch fishing. So, yeah, see, Mary says, any luck? What program do I edit with? I edit with Adobe Premiere Pro. It's been a very good program for sure. How do you break down a big new lake or lake trout? Time. Nothing but time. Like time. Drive around, fish a little bit, drive around some more, fish a little bit more, drive around lots. It just takes time. It goes with any like lake. It's like you're never gonna score usually the first time out, or you get lucky, obviously. But a lot of times if a guy gets lucky his first time out, he's generally only gonna go to that spot over and over again. Lakes take years to learn. Years to learn. Sometimes you just get lucky. I like getting lucky. Backside of L. The walleye bite is awesome at Katepwa. I want to try and get out fishing with tiny. Oh, I bet you the walleye bite right now down there is so good right now. The smallies are scrappy t-shirts. Yes, that would be a good one. What's your absolute best ice fishing bait? Probably the dinner bell or the tantrum was my hot bait last year, or a 6-inch tube jig. Love tube jigs. Where should I try at Lake of the Prairies? Right now I would probably try around Pyatt's area, and probably down by, I had really good success last 2 falls ago down by like the Kilmans area, Dropmore area. It was really good. Have you ever considered fishing with a subscriber at all on film? I would like to do that at some point for sure. I would like to. You should make a fly tying video for pike. I should. Backside of any luck, you should have been here yesterday. That's good. Any luck, you should. I like that. Oh, I really like that. again, if I ever miss any questions in here, please bring them up again. I really apologize for it. Clayton, ice fishing only. I'm addicted to it. I ice fish only. I'm addicted to it. I remember seeing you use bait feeders at some point. Would you recommend them for iFish Pro? I think you're still going to want, no matter what, when you use an iFish Pro, you're going to want to open your bail. Unless you get a really dramatic, a really low, your rod really low. The problem is a bait feeder works best when the rod's kind of pointed at the bait. Like the carp guys that use bait feeders, there's a reason why the rod's pointed at the bait. The bait feeders work better. So now when you put the rod at this angle and into the iFish Pro, the bait feeder, the rod still has to bend before that bait feeder will come out. So I don't recommend it. I would say the best is still keeping your bail open. Best electronics that you can use for ice and open water. I can only really speak for what I use. I've been using all the Humminbird stuff. It's been very good. So that's, to me, what's the best. Is there better out there? I know there's the Panoptix is really good. A lot of people have success with it, but at the same point, it's not. At the same time, it's like the guys with the Panoptix aren't the only guys that are winning tournaments and always doing the best. So it really comes down to like having more tools in your bag. The more you can afford, great, right? The more wedges you can put in your golf bag, the better. Tyler Peters, thank you for the donation. We'll do a little shot for you. I must have answered your question there, so you're very welcome. Thank you for asking a question or for just being around. I appreciate it. I got one drink of moonshine here left yet, apple pie, and we're drinking something else. So cheers. PB bowfin. I've never caught a bowfin. Cheers. What am I drinking tonight? I was just finished off a bottle here, apple pie moonshine. Very good. Very good. Tequila. Hey, Clayton, finally got you on live. How's life? Life's good. Life's good. Cheers, Tyler. Cheers to you. Any Cisco tips for ice fishing? That's awesome. Somebody asked that. Fish high in the water column and just like when your marks are coming at you, just try to keep away from them, almost like a lake trout. Like to me, the Ciscos, when you fish for them, they're like a little lake trout. The way like you can fish them on the flasher in the water column, they're actually so much fun. Like you wouldn't believe it. Crazy amount of fun. Love Cisco. So just quick movements. You don't have to use bait. I use little rattle baits all the time and crush Ciscos. They just be active. Be active with it. We got 13 minutes. So I'm going to do the giveaway here yet. So anybody is just come in here. In the last little bit, we're doing the giveaway for those lures that I posted on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I'm going to send a toque, wool hat, and then a decal with it as well. I love a picture of the, but I don't think it shows up really good on here. Really bad. They're really cool baits. So we'll do that in 13 minutes. Cindy's been writing names down on a piece of paper, and we're going to pull one out from the hat. And if we're here, we're going to watch for them to say they're here, and they'll win. And if not, we'll go on from there. So ever thought about going to catch some groupers? Jeremy, go to Uncut Angling and go search Goliath grouper, and you will see a giant Goliath grouper caught by yours truly on Uncut Angling. It's pretty slick, pretty sick. Yes, pretty slick. Ever caught a catfish in the Capel chain? No, but I've hardly targeted them. So, what's your favorite fall walleye crankbait colors? I like usually like a white and purple or pink, that type of color, or a chartreuse. Never caught a car. Jay, I've caught a car before. Jay was with me when I caught a car in the Florida Keys. Don't cast over top of a bridge on a busy highway. You might catch a car. Bad move. The grouper photos with Clayton are some of the coolest shots. Yeah, and Jay's in here too. Like, if you go, it's funny. If you don't have any like affiliate with me at all, go to Google, search Goliath grouper, and no doubt in the first like couple of photos will be me with a big grin on my face with a giant Goliath grouper that Jay took a photo of in the water. And it's there. It's like the photo that comes up. It's so cool. Thank you, all season angler. Best budget aqua view. I've heard very good things about the 715C. If you want something that's just for looking for structure and for using something quick, the Revolution 5.0, I think it is, the small ones, those things are pretty awesome. But they're a lot smaller. They don't, obviously the camera isn't as good on it. So if you want something that's a bit better, the 715C I've heard really good things about. The biggest pike I've ever caught myself, my personal best is a 47 incher. I've picked up a lot of bigger fish though of clients, a couple 50 inchers, not 50 pounders, 50 inchers as well. How to snap jig and not lose 20 of them per outing. I have lots of ice fishing. If you're losing a lot, try a little bit softer rod in terms of like go down to more of a moderate rod. I don't always recommend something like that because you can't snap it as good, or even try a mono as well for a little bit more stretch. A lot of times those fish come off in that. And really sharp, sticky hooks. Big, important thing right there. Do you run iPilot on your trolling motor? I do. I love the iPilot. I love the spot lock. Love the spot lock. In my opinion, what's my favorite fish to eat? I love the pike. Probably the pike more than anything. Like true northern pike, like not middle of the summer warm water pike, like cold water pike. It's by far the best. Oh, nice pillow in the background, right? That's my catfish. I got catfished. What do you use for big ice perch? I usually was using last year. I was using a little jig, actually, like a 5mm jig or a 7mm jig with a mealworm. That was really good for me last year. Electric ice auger, I would say this year for sure. Go electric. Go electric. Vest flip style ice shelter, otter, Eskimo, clam. Mike, I have most of my experience so far with the otters. I've had a clam before. I had an Eskimo, maybe my first one, but that's going back like 8-9 years ago. And then I had a clam, and then I've had the otter, and the otter is the only one I've had that's been thermal, and I've been in love with it. So I can't really talk about the newer stuff. I'm sure they all make great products, but I love the otter. It's been very, very good. So I'm not going to say what the best one is out there, because unless you have all three and can really compare it, it's probably not fair to you to pick one or the other. But I've been very happy with the otter. It's been very good. What do you edit your videos on? I use Adobe Premiere Pro. What would you recommend to find those big fish in averagely smaller pike lake? Bigger baits and be willing to catch less fish. That's probably the biggest thing. And when you put on a big bait, think even a bigger bait. Go big, really big. For someone who's looking to invest in ice fishing gear, what should a guy get? Budgeting $1,500 to $2,000. Don't have any deucers, augers, tents, or dedicated outerwear. Well, Bryce, if you're gonna, and I'm gonna make a video on this for sure. If you're looking to get into ice fishing season, you always have to start with what you need first, right? You're gonna need warm clothing. You can usually go with somebody to get a feel for it, whether you're gonna like the ice fishing part of it. So you're gonna need your warm clothing, and then you're gonna need an auger. You're gonna have to drill a hole into the ice somehow to be able to fish. And then obviously you're gonna need rods in that sense too, right? Your stuff like your more expensive flasher units and all that, electric augers, that comes later, right? You have to break it down into like, what's the first few things you need that you have to go. If you don't have warm gear, you can't fish when it's cold. If you don't have quite as warm a gear, get a better shelter with a heater. But if you say you'd rather just fish outside more, get a really warm suit, and you might not have to have a shelter at all. So you really have to break it down into like, where do you start and what's most important in that sense. Usually for your first year, you might not be able to get like a Humminbird or a Vexlar or something like that, right? You're going to have to start smaller. So keep it easy in that sense. Keep it basic, I should say. What's your favorite color of fall walleye jigging wraps? Well, Josh, if I told you guys that in here, I'd be giving it all away. No, to me, colors, they never really seem to matter that much, honestly. Like, and put it this way too, it's like you're working this jigging wrap, and it's like this thing's flying around you all the time. You could probably have an all lead one that's got no color on it, and it works just as good. So go get a credit card with a big limit. Yeah, if you're gonna get into ice fishing, get a credit card with a big, exactly. See, there's people giving you a few little invites. Have you ever used a jaw tracker? I haven't used a jaw tracker before, but I know Jay, who might be watching, he has before, and he really liked them. If I made you a custom bait for musky pike, would you or Jay use it? Well, we're always willing to definitely try it, Ryan, or see what it looks like in that sense. Can I promise I'm going to use it? People that guarantee your promise lie, but I would definitely be interested in it for sure. I've had lots of people send me stuff, and a lot of times I end up using it, right? Like, and it ends up making a cool video of it. And there's nothing more than I would really like to show people, right? Or like the cool stuff that's out there. Chris, how many baskets did it take care of those jigging wraps out? I had 2 baskets full of jigging wraps the last time I went to Pokey's. I spent $1,000 on jigging wraps. I should. Oh, Cindy's watching. I spent $90 on jigging wraps. No, she probably knows. It's not that big of a deal. I'll have them for like the next like 4 or 5 years, right? Like, yeah. So that's the way I look at it. Sometimes the colors are hard to get. I can't always get in the tackle store, so a lot of times when I'm there, I spend money too quickly in that sense. I'll make one for you. Yes. What color pattern do you like? HR True say no use. No, just kidding. Something natural. Natural is always good in any type of situation. Natural colors, like your brown, your white, something like that. Brown, bright, brown, white, black. But that being said, if you make me something like a Fire Tiger one, I'll definitely probably use that at some point too. Fire Tiger is such a good color for pike as well. Fishing with Fever, $6.99. Has Jay sent you his catch and cook, or is he being cheap? No, Jay's too cheap to send me catch and cook. Jay told me I couldn't eat any more fish. He's like, you'll just eat carrots now. Okay, whatever you say, Jay. Clayton, what entry-level boat would you suggest for targeting all species? Aussie, I would suggest like a 16-foot Alumacraft, like one of the smaller competitors. That way you can go on basically any size lake. You can go on the bigger lakes when it's calmer, or you can go on the smaller lakes all the time, right? Like a 16-footer would be like the ultimate. I love my 185, but I'd love to have like a 16-footer too to get into some of the really small bodies of water at times too. That being said, I'd also love to have a 21-footer, but that's not going to happen. Clayton will be getting a 5% discount once it's back in stock. Oh yeah, 5%. Thanks, Jay. I appreciate it. What I don't know. What are you selling now anyway? Fish crisp? Jay, you selling fish crisp? Competitor 165. Yes, such a good. Is it legal to fish for sturgeon in Manitoba? I don't really know. I think somebody from Manitoba might be able to answer you that for sure. I believe some of the tributaries or some of the waters are legal. Some of it is okay though. Do you catch more big eyes on first, mid, or late ice? You know what the best answer to that question is? You fish the most eyes, the big walleyes, whenever you spend the most time fishing. If you fish mostly at first ice, you're going to catch most of your fish at first ice. That being said, I really love the first ice walleye, but like it's usually good all the way to like mid-January, end of January type of thing. That like December like 20th to like January 30th, something like that. Usually pretty good. If you had to buy one lake trout reel, what would it be? I could only buy one, and that was it. I would get a Dakota 500 line counter, and that's because then I could use it for jigging, trolling, and even casting if I had to. I like to know a lot of times in terms of like, especially when you're trolling for Lakers, how far back your line is. I think you can really match your pattern over and over again. And I know when I'm like, I put out 180 feet of 65-pound Power Pro with a 6-ounce weight, I know I can hit bottom in 65 feet of water. So, right, you just get used to what you're using and you're accustomed to, and you know how far out. And two, as a guide, that's the worst question ever when you're trolling for Lakers and the guest says to you, how much line do you put out? And you're like, all of it. So it's nice when he has a line counter and be like 180 feet, 150 feet, or you can just mess with him and go, try 6 feet this time. And he'll put it out and he'll stop it, and you'll like, look at me and go, do you really think you should have about 6 feet or more? You get what I'm saying. Line counter reels are amazing in that sense. Clayton, I've been there. I mean, I always use an 8-10-inch mackerel ice fishing on a dead stick when I go for those big pike. Just thought you might have tips for smaller lakes with the odd hidden giant. You know what, Cassie? The biggest thing, honestly, is just putting your time in. Like, Madge Lake this past winter had a 48-inch pike come out of it. Like, they're in there. It's just like, are you going to be that one who gets lucky and catches it, right? Like, it's pretty it's pretty hard to like really give you like the exact spot where something's going to be. It's hard in that sense. So just lots of time and big baits would be the biggest thing for sure. How do you feel about everyone closing their doors? Meh, I really don't know what's going on, so it is what it is. My everyone's been good to me so far, so at least when I know I go to sell it, I'm not selling a lemon. Is a tune-up custom rod worth it for this ice fishing season? I've ran tuned up in the past. They seem to be a great rod. I'm running Frostbite now. And in terms of best bang for your buck, the Frostbite rod is definitely, you get one in your hands, you'd be quite impressed for the money, for sure. Thought about doing a tiger trout video or tiger muskie. I do need to do a tiger trout video in the near future again, for sure. I don't think I've done a tiger trout video open water, so maybe I'll focus on something like that in October yet. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do an October tiger trout video. When are you fishing Cisco through the ice? What area of the lake do you target? Jesse, I'm usually fishing Cisco's come more like that January, February area. And I'm like in 40, 50 feet of water times, but I'm usually targeting like that like 10 to like 30 feet of water in that water column there. Just fast movements. Rattle baits up and down, draw them in. What size reel for ice lake trout? I've used 4,000 Stratics and 2,500 series Stratics and 25,000, I guess it is. And both have been pretty good. Ducks in October, Dustin, sure, let's do it. I need to get there. Hey, Clayton, thanks again for the tips on the Lake of Prairies. You're very welcome. The walleye bite is big time in the ducks right now. Ooh, hot tip. Yes, Jay Loomis is definitely worth it for sure. This live chat is sweet. I appreciate you being there. We're an hour in, so Cindy should be writing down the names pretty quick, and we're going to draw one out of the hat. Hopefully you're here. Marshall Outdoors, cheers, dude. Cheers to you. Come fish whitefish with me. Ooh, I love whitefish. Love whitefish. I haven't got a fish for it much, but we definitely would do it. Burbot video this winter, yes. How about like a spawning season burbot video underwater? That would be the dream. That would be the dream. Cody, I needed to send you an email. I can't believe you just unreal, dude. Cheers to you. Like, I've been meaning to send you an email. I did get your email from your wife sent it to me. So thank you. Cheers to you. We're out of moonshine, but we're gonna have an apple smash on you. Good timing. We're about to do a giveaway here too. Cheers. Ooh, I don't know which one's better. The moonshine's definitely better than apple smash. Cody, cheers to you. Hope all is well with you, my friend. Hope all is well. If I shoot a bigger, what'd that say? If I shoot a bigger what? If I shoot a bigger whitetail and wait than you Minnesota season, you owe me a lure. Oh, we got some pretty big whitetails here. Can I come fish tiger trout with you? Oh, Nigel, I wish I could take everybody fishing. I really do. I really do. Cassie, I know where you're coming from, but I spent 8 years fishing the lake. And it's 2018. My biggest is 39.5. Just wondering if you think I'm in the wrong spot or need to move. If you know what, if you've been fishing for 8 years and you feel like there's bigger pike in the lake, then you probably need to move around more. Would be the biggest thing, right? Like if in 8 years you haven't caught a bigger pike in your spot, but you know they're in there for sure, then you definitely need to move around a little bit. That would be I would say for sure. Any tips for trout fishing? Oh, fish long, hard, and often. It's the worst tips ever. I don't know a lot about trout fishing. Lake trout fishing, yes, I do know a fair bit about, but in terms of stock trout, not as much. What knots do you use? I use a lot of different knots, Atlas, but I mostly use the uni knot. A uni knot a lot. Like uni to uni or just a uni knot, I use it like all the time. How's the meal draw at work up there? Same as Manitoba elk draw? I think so. I've been putting in for like 4 or 5 years, and I've been drawn for mule deer this year, so pretty excited for that. We want hunting videos this fall. Yes, we're going to do it. Hunting videos, definitely. Do you bird hunt at all? Dason, I actually used to guide for birds for 12 years, I think it is, total I've spent. So I've bird hunted quite a bit. I trained my own chocolate lab at one point, and she was my little hunting buddy. And yes, like I said, I guided for 12 years, so I bird hunted a lot. So we got names? Got names?
I have 2 kitties.
You have a lot of names in here.
I do. I was busy. I listened.
Holy
Ask me a question.
cow.
I know the answer.
So Cindy, obviously, look at that. Cindy wrote down names of everybody in the chat that was asking questions and shared. Wow. I asked her to write down at least 10 names, and she did. How many do you think?
I tore papers this morning at work, and I used them all.
So there's 50 plus names in here.
Wow,
that's awesome. Okay. So this is for the baits. I'm kind of jealous that whoever gets these baits is getting them before me.
Yeah, Carter wants one.
Carter wants one. We all want these baits. Okay, we're going deep. Oh, I guess I should do this on the camera here. No. Cody.
Oh, I guess
Cody tipped you $50. Okay, here we go. They have to be in here. Ryan Schultz. Ryan, say something if you're in the chat right here. Ryan Schultz, if you're in the chat, we give you 5 minutes here to say something in the chat before we pick a new name. And Cody, we got to have a shot for you. Ryan, right there.
Oh,
I'm here.
It's my drink, though, I believe.
It is. You're going to have a shot, Apples. Here, you have some of this. This you like. Hey, there's Ryan. We're here. You're here. You're good. Ryan, you're winning the toque and the baits. So can you send me a message, Ryan, through Instagram or Facebook? Or if you don't have that, you can also send me an email at claytonschickoutdoors@gmail.com. That's awesome. So Mike will send you the baits from his place, and I will send you the toque. So I will get the yes. Okay, you have Instagram, Ryan. Send me your address so I can forward it to Mike, and he will send you the baits. That's awesome. Mike, cheers to you as well. Cody, thank you for the shot, but Mike, cheers to you for making those baits. It's pretty awesome.
Does he win everything?
Huh? He wins everything.
Oh, okay.
Should we get something else, Ray?
What about one of my nice stickers?
How about, you know what? Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's give another toque and a decal away. We're gonna give another toque and a decal away to somebody else. They are the best toques. We'll give one more away. Come on. Is this really? It's Chris Harder. That's awesome. Chris, I know you always are in the chat all the time. There you go. That's awesome. It's cool that these names I'm pulling over, people I always see here consistently. So, Chris Harder, I'm going to send you a toque and a decal as well. So, yes, you won, Chris. There you go. Okay. So, just not get you confused, Chris. You didn't win the baits. We gave those away earlier, but you won the toque and the decal. So, send me your address as well. That's awesome. Do another draw. Mark, I don't have any more toques to give away right now. Next time, though, I'm going to order some more toques so we can do some more giveaways for sure. So thank you to everybody. We have 300 people in here. I really appreciate everybody stopping by. Look at Dason Hoffman. He will buy a CSO bait from you for sure.
Jason's name was
he has all of the baits, or all of my merch, so he'll buy one from you. Nikki says hi, Cindy.
Nikki's name was in there too.
Yeah. Also, give away the hat you're wearing, Otter hat. I'll give away some Otter hats. I'm going to get some stuff from Otter. Travel Manitoba, Huntfish Manitoba wants to do some draws on these live chats too. We're going to do some giveaways with them too. So we're going to make this more of a thing where we give stuff away on the live chats. So that's awesome. Yeah, you want to give Tigger away? You guys, somebody says, how do I get a hat? ClaytonSchickoutdoors.com. That is the best place to get one. I've heard my phone go off 4 times tonight. So thank you to everybody that ordered a hat and gear tonight. Tonight was an awesome turnout for everything. Sorry anybody's question that I missed. I really try to get back to everybody. Sorry if I've missed your questions on any Facebook or Instagram message. It's really hard to keep up as much as I try to. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate it all. Have a good night. Thanks, Cindy, for doing the names. Cheers to everybody. Have a great night, all everybody. We'll do this again in another couple weeks, probably, maybe after the last mountain tournament. Cheers.